What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode, we are diving back into the Grips conflict in Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta Defined. Last time, Amado joined the battle using the Zero Shiki. The Aldumla left Hong Kong and fought against Wooder and the Sudori. He attempted to crash his Garuda into Karaba's Garuda. However, 4 came in and sacrificed herself to save Camille. This time, we shift our attention to Haman and Axis. The Axis team works on the Qubeley and accidentally stumble onto Luna Titanium Gamma. They use it to create Haman's new mobile suit. So let's get into this. In Africa, on the EFF base, Maputo, Reko and Kai are spying on a cargo plane that just touched down. Kuraba gave them intel that they should be carrying 50 tons worth of supplies. However, their scans suggest that the plane is empty, which means they are making an undocumented stop somewhere to offload the cargo. Kai believes that based off of recent cargo offloads, they're doing it somewhere around Kilimanjaro. They have to get this data to Kuraba. At Grips, Jamatov meets with Bask, who apologizes to the Titans leader for allowing Kuraba to form under his command. Bask tells him to save the excuses. They need to focus on ensuring that Kuraba and the AEUG don't end up finding their base at Kilimanjaro. Bask cheers up Haman by letting him know that he believes the AEUG headquarters is located in Aldrin on the moon. Too close to Alderaan. You know what you're doing. Back on the Garuda, the team hasn't been pursued by the Titans since they defeated Wooder. They realized that they were facing off with Newtype Labs test pilots because the Federation is still busy moving to their new headquarters. No one knows where Camille is. Amado wasn't able to sense 4, even though Camille thinks she is still alive. He does mention that Camille's Newtype powers are most likely stronger than his. He goes to check on the little girl. Camille wants Amado to tell him of the girl he mentioned from the 1-year war. Oh boy, here we go again. Camille wants to try to bring 4 over to the AEUG. Amado wonders if she went by any other name. All Camille knew her as was 4 Murasame. Amado knows of this name because Murasame ran Newtype tests on him back during the 1-year war. He went on to create a drug that turns normal people into Newtypes, aka what is known as modern-day cyber Newtypes. Older cyber Newtypes were all about the physical enhancements only. Amado says that she may be able to return to normal life if she stops taking the medication, but he also lets him know how cyber Newtype drugs are highly addictive, and once they start, they can't stop without breaking mentally. As a present, he gives Camille an old modified Hado that he once used. This was with him during his Newtype testing, and it recorded all data. Camille now has access to that data. Amado also just said that he recorded all the data from Newtype Labs, but Camille didn't come to realize that Amado was probably recording him as well. Finally, someone put a tracker on this kid. In New Hong Kong, a random group is on the run. They have a picture of the Federation Psycho Gundam and want to take this information public, even though they know they will be censored. Men come bursting through the discreet hideout, and they fire on the citizens. The New Hong Kong Chamber of Commerce views a message sent by Bask demanding that they give him all the data pertaining to those who assisted Kuraba during their attack. Some want to dissolve Luo and Co to ensure their hands are clean of this situation. One says it didn't work with Great Britain, it didn't work with China, and it ain't gonna work with the Federation. However, Stephanie Luo convinces the Chamber to rather, instead of folding to the Titans, use their money and resources to help anti-Titans groups. Hong Kong has some of the biggest reach in both the private and public sector. If anyone could make this happen, it would be the business people of Hong Kong. One guy yells, "F yeah, oligarchy." Stephanie says that isn't what we're doing. You have to wait till UC 105 for that to happen. Both the Argama and Radish are at Levian Rose. Emma has made a full recovery and the Mark II is fully repaired. Fa's watching Emma train and is very quick to understand mobile suit tactics. Hinken is starting to think maybe she possesses Newtype powers, not only for her observations, but because the first thing she says is that Hinken is just here to check out Emma. She knows. She knows. Many AEUG members are working for the Federation from within. They notice an increase in Titans at Aldrin, their headquarters, and they wonder why. Bask certainly isn't the type of person that would attack Aldrin knowing it would kill many of his own men, right? Right? Emma says, Yeah, he would. If that is the case, then they should prep a mission for the moon immediately. Emma thinks that they shouldn't all converge at once, as that is most likely what Bask was planning on. They decide to not group up and rather converge from multiple trajectories. Meanwhile, on the Jupiters, Sirocco gets word of Bask's plan for the moon. He finds the Titans to be barbaric, but he is tired of waiting around and he wants to finally meet Jamatov. It's time to make some moves. In the nuclear-powered sub, the Cerberus, Quattro Skypes with his boyfriend, while the Aldumla run runs a diversion. The Cerberus is sneaking around Papua New Guinea. They're simply waiting to make a move on Kilimanjaro. Since the Aldumla is over Europe, Quattro wants Amado to visit Sela. If you don't fuck my sister, then at least fuck me. Amado hangs up on him. Meanwhile, at Kilimanjaro, Jared is waiting for his new mobile suit to finish construction. Around Axis, Haman Khan and her team is testing out the new Gaza Seas. She is liking the unit. With her is Rakan Dekarin, who likes the form even though it isn't as mobile as he would like. They get back to Axis where she meets with Captain Emmerich, who's working on mobile suit designs. Haman wants a unit personally that is lighter with increased speed and to paint it the colors of her old Schnee Weiss. She's hoping that they could have 90 of these mobile suits produced if possible. She believes that the Gaza Sea will be enough to handle the Federation fleet, but if they have a new type, then they will need more. She remembers the designs that Shar and Sumeri left her before they took off for the Earth Sphere. This happened at the end of Shar's deleted affair. Go check out that coverage to see Shar before fleeing to the Earth Sphere and joining EFF. She trusts Sumeri's designs as she was the one who designed the Tusha Schwartz and the Schnee Weiss. She gets to work on a new mobile suit. Sometime later, their engineers create the prototype Qubeley. The AMX-001 prototype Qubeley is Axis engineers' attempt to create Sumeri's designs for the Qubeley. The concept of the Qubeley is simple. Make a mobile suit version of the Elmeth. However, it wasn't miniaturized quite to spec and lacks mobility. This mobile suit helped in miniaturizing the bit system, thus effectively creating the first funnel. This uses ECAPs for fast charging. Other weapons include a megaparticle cannon on each forearm, a beam saber, and chest Vulcans. It also has a bulky Psychomu system. Haman takes the prototype out for a spin. She hates it. According to Sumeri's designs, it has to be smaller. The current size isn't up to speed, but no one seems to be as skilled as Sumeri. However, a young officer named Jelk mentions that he helped out with the Tusha Schwartz and may have an idea. She tells him to come to her quarters later. We flash back to the first time that Jelk met Sumeri. He mistook her for a little girl, and he was embarrassed when he found out that she was the chief engineer. Jelk tells Haman that during that time, Sumeri mentioned that they need a biosignal enhancer. On a Psychomu, you need something to take the brainwaves and convert them into signals, which can be input and transmitted. This was located on the giant backpack on the Tusha Schwartz. Before a new machine moving forward, it should be integrated into the frame itself. Axis researchers deem this not worth researching, but Sumeri seemed to have a different opinion. She leaves, making this a reality in the hands of Jelk. They do some testing, but come up short. Haman ends up moving forward with the prototype Qubeley instead. Jelk goes over the research once again and realizes what he was missing. The key thing that they were missing is gamma alloy. At the end of Shar's deleted affair, this was something that Sumeri was researching. Shar decided not to inform Haman about the gamma alloy research, but he did give her the Qubeley design. Gamma alloy went on to create the Gamma Gundam, which evolved into the Rick Diaz. Gamma would be used by Anaheim Electronics, and the Federation won't know about this until they steal the Marasai. The only problem they now face is being able to handle the Psychomu. Jelk says that one has to be on the level of Subject 2, referring to Yayoi. She says, "Bitch, no problem, I got this." They run a Psychomu test and are able to see good results. This will take a lot of Axis's resources, and she probably won't get those 90 Gaza Seas now. 10 months later, the Qubeley is complete. She takes it for a test flight. Axis, September 2nd, UC 0086. Everyone is celebrating Minevazabi's 7th birthday. It has been 3 years since Haman has taken over as her surrogate parent. Among the commanders are a few that don't think that Haman is cut out to be a leader, but a Major Zibizek stops their gossiping. What a name. A commander named Jaroslav joins a meeting regarding the morale of their men. Since Enzo's rebellion, and after sending troops to help the Delaz fleet, they are left with an army full of amateurs. On top of that, Shar took many capable officers with him and left Axis in the dark. He informs her that their men are starting to question her leadership and that she needs to harden her heart. Don't tell a girl to get hard. Well, I guess she's over 18 now. You can tell her to get hard if she likes. It is time to instill fear into her men. Her and Gerard Sinclair begin going over their best men that they have. Rakan Dakarin is one of them, of course. Gerald also suggests that they give Gotten another chance after being demoted during the 1-year war. She decides to not use him as she is looking for the best of the best. I guess this is why Gotten is always scheming in Double Zeta. She then looks at Danny, Dwayne, and Dale. These three will go on to make up the 3D team. She passes them. Now she moves on to potential new types. She looks across the room to Ilya Palzome, who is also one of her new types. The next subject is Mashimir. He is a great pilot, but Ilya tells her that this dude is really, really into you, man. Like, really into you. You can send this dude off to his death and he will do it, no problem. Haman passes Mashimir. The next is Glemmy Toto, whose family once had great ties to the Zabi family. They make him a cadet for now. And finally, she looks over Kara Soon's profile. She is a great pilot, but she has this issue where she gets really horny in the cockpit. Haman says she will test her herself. Meanwhile, Commander Mikhail is whispered something important by a mysterious soldier. Haman and Kara do a simulated battle. Her senses are off the chart, but as she goes into attack, she sounds like she is climaxing and she makes everyone uncomfortable. Haman gets the upper hand because of this. She has a lot to work with, but she decides to pass Kara, and that makes up her elite team that will essentially become the Rogues Gallery and Double Zeta. Suddenly, the power goes out on Axis. It comes back on instantly, but this is troubling. They go out to investigate to find someone in a normal suit injured. It happens to be Commander Mihail. They take him to the hospital, where a doctor was unable to save him. Someone just killed the commander. And that will do it for this episode. We are finally focusing on Axis, and with it comes all the knowledge we learned from Char's deleted affair. Technically, Sumari researched gamma alloy on Axis, so it is an Axis invention, but she took the research with her, so now they had to reinvent it based off of her research. Now that EFF has the Marasai, and Jelk helped with the Qubeley, all the big players have access to gamma alloy, the biggest proponent in what makes a second-generation mobile suit a second-generation mobile suit. Next time, Haman investigates Enzo loyalists to see if Mihail's death is related to a past coup. Dotton will make some questionable decisions, and we will find out who has been working in the shadows on Axis. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, whatever happens in your mobile suit does not stay in your mobile suit. All the data gets recorded, and they hear everything. Peace.